Where did the summer go? Woo! The summer is gone and it's time for Canadiens hockey, baby. Woo! Welcome to my 2019-2020 Canadiens Preseason Primer. Now, before I get into it, I got to give a quick shout out to the guys at the From Failing Hands podcast. A couple good friends of mine, these two gentlemen spent the entire off-season, the entire summer, bringing Habs fans some quality content via podcast. If you haven't checked out their podcast, I urge you to check it out. Fans first. Mike and John represent our fan base with the utmost respect, and due to that, they have been able to solidify and bring on some incredible guests throughout the summer. So I urge you to check out their podcast. It's September 5th. That means the Canadiens rookie camp is now open. There's going to be some practices in the next couple days, and then on September 7th and 8th, the Canadiens rookie squad will take on the rookie squads from the Sens and the Jets. And then on September 10th, the Canadiens rookie squad will take on an all-star U Sports team from the Canadian universities. This team always gives the Habs rookies trouble, but this is a very strong rookie camp. So I'm very intrigued to watch that game on September 10th. It's important to note that Ryan Poehling and Nick Suzuki will both participate in this year's rookie camp and play in these games, as well as guys like Jake Evans, Josh Brook, Cale Fleury, and Caden Primo. Cole Caulfield, who was recently drafted by the Montreal Canadiens in the first round of the 2019 draft, will not be participating in this year's rookie camp because he has committed to Wisconsin, the NCAA, and neither will Alex Romanov, who's getting ready to start his season in the KHL. Jaden Struble, Montreal's second round draft pick in the 2019 draft, will also not be participating. Once again, this is another guy who's committed to the U.S. development program. The Canadiens' official golf tournament will take place on September 9th. That is also coming up. We will be sure to get some quality sound bites and interviews from Habs personnel, including GM Marc Bergevin, Coach Claude Julien, among others, as well as from players that we haven't heard from so much in the offseason. It's always a great day, and the Montreal Canadiens always raise a ton of money for the Montreal Canadiens Children's Charity. Looking forward to that. And it's just great to see all the players heading back into Montreal at this time of the year for the start of training camp, which will officially begin on September 12th, just about a week away. We'll see numerous red versus white scrimmages, and then the preseason will begin on September 16th. The Habs will play 7 preseason games, facing off against New Jersey, then Florida twice. They'll face off against Ottawa twice as well, and the Leafs twice too. So lots of good quality games in the preseason. Training camp and preseason this year will once again be extremely competitive. There are only so many spots on the team, and our training camp roster is filled with guys capable of making NHL rosters, including a lot of our young prospects ready to make that jump into the NHL. The competitiveness at camp will hopefully again contribute to a strong start to the regular season. What I'm most excited for at training camp this year is, of course, the performances of Ryan Poehling and Nick Suzuki. But past that, I'm very curious to see how a guy like Mike Riley, left-handed defenseman, responds after being a healthy scratch for the last few weeks of the season last year. This is a guy who had a very strong training camp for the Habs last year, showing flashes of very strong offensive ability, especially on the power play. And then throughout the first half of the season, once again showed those flashes of a strong offensive ability. It's his defensive mistakes that kind of hold him back. But the thing is, the Canadiens chose to re-sign him, so they clearly see some value to his game, and I'm still a believer that this guy can become a consistent mid mid pair or bottom pair offensive defenseman in the NHL that can play a key role on a second power play unit. Now, that said, if he is not impressive in training camp, he is likely one of the Montreal Canadiens' first cuts, or one of the first guys that hits waivers. So I'm very curious to see how he responds to how his season ended last year. I'm also really looking forward to Josh Brooks' camp. He is the Habs' most offensively gifted defensive prospect. And he made the transition to pro last year. He played most of the season in the CHL in junior, but then at the end of the year, he finished his season with Laval. I suspect he'll start the season in Laval this year, as for his development, it's likely better for him to get big minutes in Laval, play on the first power play unit, play on one of the top pairs. But you never know if he has a strong camp like he did last year. He was a clear standout at the Montreal Canadiens camp last year. If that happens again, or if he exceeds expectations, you never know. He could steal a spot on the Montreal Canadiens bottom pair as a right-handed defenseman. Cale Fleury could be another guy who tries to crack the opening roster for the Montreal Canadiens. Once again, a right-handed defenseman. He also made the transition to pro last year, except he played the full season with Laval, and he made that transition to pro look seamless. So I'm interested to see what his camp looks like and if he can steal himself a spot on the Canadiens roster. But he is definitely a guy that could be one of the first call-ups for the Habs this season, just like Josh Brooks. I'm also really interested to see right winger Michael McCarron at camp. He has spent the last couple off seasons putting extra focus on his skating ability and trying to improve that as much as he can, working with a skating coach. He's also had off-season surgery on his shoulder to repair an injury that's been nagging him for a couple years. He was drafted in the first round a few years ago, and this may be his last chance to prove he should stay within the Canadiens organization. He had a really good year last year with Laval, being coached under Joël Bouchard, who seems to really believe and have faith in McCarron's ability and potential as an NHL player. Now, due to the Habs' lack of depth at right wing this year, there is a potential spot for Michael McCarron to steal if he has a very strong camp. Rookie camp, training camp, and preseason is an extremely exciting time of year. It gives us fans a chance to look at the growth of the Montreal Canadiens prospect pool, as well as a glimpse into the future of what could be coming for this organization. And then on October 3rd, the Montreal Canadiens regular season begins against the Carolina Hurricanes, the team that we tried to steal Sebastian Aho from. That was a smart offer sheet. That's all I'm going to say. The people who realize it was will know why. The people who don't think it was, you'll never be able to convince. But it was smart. It was genius. Max Domi negotiations. Anyway, guys, I am pumped. I cannot wait for the rookie camp to begin, see these guys on the ice, see how they've developed, and of course, see our guys back in action in the preseason. It's going to be fun. I'm currently working on a Montreal Canadiens season preview video, so keep an eye out for that to get my full thoughts on what I expect and hope to see from our team this year. It is good to be back, guys. Let me know what you're most excited to see in the Montreal Canadiens rookie camp and preseason. And of course, hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications to see more of my videos. And of course, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Scotian Canadian. Go Habs, go, baby.